for me, this is gonna be like number three in the Predator universe. You know, you've got Dutch's Predator, you got Amber Midthunder's Predators coming second. This is gonna be my third.
I mean, I think there's something that they've been able to capture in the Predator franchise that they've never been able to. You know what I mean?
Mm,
With these short stories, they've never been
exactly,
able to
exactly.
really like capture a human element or human relationship element. What's happening, people? Welcome back to the Brothers Geekout movie reviews, and today we're going to review Predator, Killer of Killers, amazing part of the Predator franchise. Before we get into it, this video is sponsored by Cherish Clicks. See the magic, be the magic. Check the description for more. Kibbs, what did you think of this amazing piece of Predator content that we got, man? Because damn, it was good.
Really good, man. Really good. Like, you know what I've started to do, bro, a lot more is not watch trailers, not watch nothing about it, and just really enjoy it for what it is. And I like when I watch it, remember the first message I sent?
Yeah.
Moist, like fucking like we're getting some good stuff, man. Like really, really getting some good stuff. Like it was just a good animation, bro. Like, everybody worries about animation when you move a IP from like something that was live action to computer sorry, not computer graphic, like computer art graphics, like the way it was. But it was amazing, bro. Like great story, great characters. We learn more about the predators as well. Like this is what we should be getting as predator content, is we
Mm.
get more of the universe and they could be told in short stories. Just powerful stuff, man. And beautiful as well. Like you got the Viking era, you had the samurai era, and then you had the Second World War. Now, but all like it's not based on like it's cultural. It's more cultural than it is. I don't know, just a plain action movie. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, the eras had a cultural impact
Significance. Yeah, yeah, that's
as
right.
well as like tying into the main story, which is what I loved about it because it's the predators are just predators, man. They just like they're not. I don't think they're about conquering. They're not about invading. They're about we are this race
Mm,
and we go out there and challenge the greatest warriors and killers of each planet or whatever. And that's it. And that's what I loved about this because it got straight into that. And that's why I was thinking about this, right? The difference between live action and animation. And there's such a difference. Like you can do so much more with animation that you can't get away with in live action. And I think that's that human element. When it's a live action, you focus a lot on that human element, that human connection, the human storytelling. And at the same time, you're trying to make the story be about the Predator or Godzilla or whatever it is, right? But with
mm.
animation, you don't, I feel like when you skip all of that, there's you don't like it works because this story just I love the way it started. It just said I think I can't remember the exact text, but it was like go out to different planets and find the best killer of killer. That was it, and it just started
Exactly.
like that. Right, and then it started off with a what was it, Shield, which was based on that sort of Viking era,
Yeah, yeah.
or that Nordic
And
sort of
protection,
era.
the way she used it as well. If you notice, like you'll see it in each of the episodes.
Yeah,
But yeah, continue. Sorry, go on.
but yeah, no, and I just feel like with animation, you don't have to, you don't that human element, that human story, you don't have to emphasize it on too much. And they did. Don't get me wrong. Each story had was amazing. Like it was a daughter and son relationship. It was a brother relationship. It was a father son relationship with each story, right? So, from going through. But man, they don't have to waste time on building it. It just gets straight into it. You're already engaged. I mean, beautiful animation, but you're in it for the Predator story. I mean, at the end of the day, right? The title of this thing is called Predator. The title of every Predator movie is always called Predator, right? So
Mm,
really, you're getting straight into the Predator and their core values of this Predator race, which is hunting. You know what I mean? Hunting, like you know what I
exactly.
mean? It's like almost like the Spartans. You're trained as a young kid or whatever to go out and hunt for the best fighters and challenge yourself. And you go out and do it. This comparison came to mind in some way, but it's a bit different. But like, Super Saiyan, like Saiyans, like their race is a warrior race. They're born and trained
Yeah,
to
yeah,
fight.
yeah.
Now, obviously, predators kill and all that sort of stuff, but it's that sort of race. Like that's what we do. Like we're not invaders, we're not conquerors. We go out and find like no predators ever kill innocent. I mean, look, innocent people do die, but they're not going out there hunting innocent people. We're hunting the best of your warriors. You know what I mean? So
Exactly,
there's a moral
exactly.
code. There's like a warrior code that they have, and this got straight into it, and it was absolutely fantastic. It just set the tone immediately with the animation, the way the storytelling is going to be, and the way it concluded. I mean, three stories into one. I mean, we talk about when movies feel like they've been merged, like two stories into one, and it doesn't work. Man, the way they just combined three stories into one was just absolutely fantastic. And there were short stories, just the right amount of time and storytelling to kind of like get us into that character and move us on to the next, leading up to the ultimate battle at the end, which was absolutely fantastic. They done it amazingly, man. I mean, look, the first one you mentioned was Shield, and like I said, there was a mother-son sort of relationship in
Protection
there, but it was it's
and the
the
way she used the
protection.
shield. Yeah,
Exactly. The shield was a shield is used for protection in battle, right?
yeah,
That whole thing was protecting the sun as well as protecting their tribe and all that sort of stuff.
yeah.
Just just fantastic, man. I mean, the way they set like, and I'll pass it on to you, man. But the way the predator just holds back, evaluates the situation. Who is the best warrior? Is that in the you know what I mean? Rather than just attacking everyone and whatnot, there's strategy and there's an honor behind the predator and his conquest. It's not just kill anyone and everyone. It's like, well, who are the most dominant fighters here? Oh, it's them.
Mm.
Okay, I'm going straight. Let's go. The battle begins. I mean, what was your thoughts on Shield?
No, shield again. Protection. It was about protection. It was about uh, the legacy and moving on, and a son taking over what a mother's gone through and what they have to go to protect. Listen, the predator in that one, Tonks. It was
Oh,
Tonks.
wicked.
It was Tonks Predator, bro. Uh, Interesting. They've got like new devices as well that they're using. So it's each each Predator had like a really good, like they knew the era, or like it was for that era. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
no, Shield was
I,
really good, bro. Really enjoyed it.
but I love it because like it introduce the predators are not all the same. They're a complete different race. They're going to be different
Yeah,
as well. They're going to have different styles, different fighting abilities, different preferences to weapons and all that sort of stuff, right? Why should we all assume that if they fight exactly the same and they look the same and all that sort of stuff? Like, there was a whole criticism about Predator Badlands, and then there was that one Predator that's got like a skin fade or whatever and big dreadlocks, and everyone was
yeah, boy.
cussing it. But I'm like, why can't predators look different? Like, if as long as he's the predator and does what the predators do, he's gonna probably have a different fighting style and whatnot. Look, I don't expect any predator to have like a John Wick type fighting style. Don't get me wrong, but each predator is still gonna be an individual with their individual preferences of fighting abilities and weaponry and whatnot. But yeah, this one was Tonks and absolutely just the designs just look amazing. And again, I feel like in animation you could just get away with it, man. And it was very violent, man. The cartoon, the animation was super violent.
So violent, bro. So violent. Very, very violent. So they
The
did
most
take it on the
violent.
next level, which I really needed. I thought it was wicked, bro.
Yeah, I mean, bro, I was glued. I was glued. I was so impressed with what they gave us. I mean, we'll rate it at the end, but I think it's one of the best, top three best Predator content we've ever got.
Hundred
Which
percent.
was, yeah,
100%.
100% awesome. And just the fighting style and then the way she used the shield to just batter people. It's actually really cool choreographing, man. Like really cool choreographing. I thought it was just done so right with that side. I mean, moving on to Sword, which was my favorite, right? And maybe I'm biased because of the samurai and everything, but man, telling a story without even any dialogue. I mean, I loved that it's two brothers, right? And it started off with like two leaves grow together on the same branch, but as they fall off, they kind of go apart. It was some kind of like
Oh
dialogue like
man,
that. And
deep.
it just kind of set the tone of what story they're telling. but there's no dialogue throughout the whole thing except that one line. And then the brotherhood, the revenge sort of thing on the empire or whatever, the samurai empire, and then just tagging up again to fight alongside aside one another to fight the predator was just absolutely amazing. But that animation and the samurai, man, it just made them look so cool, man. Just everything was just awesome.
Again, the fight scenes, just intense, bro. The choreography, like to think that is an animation, and you're giving me better fight choreography, and you're pulling out so I can see the martial arts better than what they do in the films, bro. And that's what I love about animation is that they won't do close cuts. They do sometimes, but they will want us to see the landscape, the background, because everything's been created fresh. So, I mean, we love and respect Bushido, the way of the samurai. I think that's something that's been stuck with us for a long time. And I think just being in martial arts as well, just that discipline of it. But that quote, bro, got me. That got me. It was, and just the brotherhood of it as well. Like even though, and he didn't really go there to kill him. It was just to show you that I'm better than you. And then when he did drop, it was like, oh shit, I didn't want that to happen. Spoilers, guys,
Yeah.
spoilers. We're gonna hit spoiler territories. But as soon as the Predator came out, like when he sensed that, bro, that was a good fight scene. That's my favorite fight scene, in a long time. But when they did come together, and just that one little story that represents everything in that episode came out so well, bro. Towards the end, to what happened, it's like bloody hell, this is insane. Like, how good is this? This is a Predator story, and you're making me emotional. What are you doing? How do you do that?
So good. I mean, I think there's something that they've been able to capture in the Predator franchise that they've never been able to. You know what I mean? With these short stories, they've never been
Exactly,
able to
exactly.
really like capture a human element or human relationship element because this Predator movie is literally, it's always been about we're being hunted and we're gonna find a way to hunt back
Kill
or kill
this
it, right?
ugly
But this is
motherfucker,
this
man.
was
Shit.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. But this has been different. It's all that and it starts with that but you built these relationships, you built these human stories in an animation. I'm just like, wow, like you smashed it. I mean that relationship between those two brothers, just starting from the beginning, where the brother attacks him and then he runs away and then he comes back. It was just like, and you're right, he didn't want to kill him. And the way they tag teamed up at the end of that fight was to be like, no matter what, man, like we grew together on this branch, and yes, we drifted away and
Mm.
as the leaves fell, but
But
we
he,
no matter.
he came back in it and said, "You're not alone, bro."
Ah, man, you're not alone. That was just proper deep, man. I mean, oh man, I want that. Seriously, I want that in a live action. I don't know if they could pull off the same, but just like maybe live action, you don't need to have a human element. Just do what you did in Prey and whatnot, just being hunted, but put that in a samurai time, bro. Put that in a samurai time. Like, just give us a live action of that. That would be so sick. I seriously, it will be awesome. And also, this touched on something. Well, Prey done this. But this touched on just a different era. It was three different eras, and also it touched
Mm.
on like well, I wouldn't say time travel or whatnot. They were able to freeze, I guess, the different humans and the killers and whatnot. But
Mm.
it touched on three different time zones, time of years or whatever, and three different like different cultures and all that sort of stuff. So it really touched on the whole spectrum of how long the predators have been doing this, and their system that they have in place of like we can get these warriors from this planet specifically to fight alongside each other, like warriors from different eras of humanity, samurai, Viking, World War II, all that sort of stuff. Let's see if they can collaborate together to
Mm.
be, you know what I mean? So they touch on a whole new sort of dynamics of the Predator universe of like of time. I don't want to say time travel. I keep on saying time travel, but like how they were able to freeze time, how they're able to freeze humans to kind of use them for their prop. So a whole different dynamic, man. But I would love to see a movie version of Sword, man. It would just be so. It was, or maybe not. Maybe it'll ruin it. I don't know. But it was my favorite, obviously, just because of samurai biasness. Absolutely amazing, man. One of them. It's so good. I could watch that Sword multiple times. And it shows that's like what I loved about it as well. Each story was like 15 minutes side. You could easily rewatch those little stories or the whole thing multiple times. This one has great rewatchability.
Exactly, exactly. Great rewatchability. Listen, gonna be one of my favorites this year, bro. Like in my top 5 favorite movies this year, it's got to be that. I would have loved to see that on the big screen.
I think so. I
Honestly, would
think
have
big
loved to
screen
see
would
that
be
on the big
great.
screen,
Yeah.
and I feel like they didn't. I mean, this is a story. This is something we can talk about the podcast later on. Is that they're actually giving us great content on a streaming platform? I want to see this on the big screen, man. Like, please. If there's a cinema showing that, I will go watch it and pay for
I think they need to be confident in the animation. I feel like again, there's a thing where I mean again, I don't know, but it's just my feeling that there's a thing where it's like, oh, it's animation. Let's just put it on streaming. It's not like it's not movie, it's not cinema quality, but like Pixar and DreamWorks and whatnot have figured out their animations where they are big cinematic spectacles. So I feel like with these animations, like you know what, if you can figure out how to make them big cinematic spectacles, you got to take a risk. Like why not put that out there on cinema and see how it does? Like
it.
maybe the data has shown in the past animations don't work as much. Or compared to live action, especially a live action go into an animation. But I feel like this, I mean, being one of the best Predator contents in the top three, in my top three personally, I mean, I'm like, man, if you put this on the big screen, it definitely could have done some sort of success. But I don't know. That's probably studios and budgeting and using past data and stuff like that where they're not feeling
I mean,
enough
there's a lot
content.
to it. Definitely, there's a lot to it. It's how it's pushed out, bro. 100%. It's how it's pushed out, but moist. So good,
Well,
so
let's
good,
move
so
on
good.
to the last chapter of that story, which was Bullet, or the last story is Bullet, which was like a father-son sort of relationship in around World War II. A young kid who had a vision of being like a pilot, right, and fighting and for his country and all that sort of stuff. To like against that, just that like his father was almost his inspiration. He was able to push him, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Which was another touching story, you know what I mean? He was kind of like it was a touching, like almost like an immigrant story of fighting for what you believe in. And then just being able to like what was it? It was fixing that. He broke his car down to using that same thing about putting like fixing the plane. You know what I mean? Where
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
this
yeah.
this
Because you
plane
got to
won't.
feel it. You got to feel it.
You got to feel it. Yeah, that was it, right? He had to feel it. He had to take that breath and he had to feel what was wrong with the machine, sort of thing. And he kind of implemented that in the future. And that was, but I feel like that feeling was just like it was something he took from his father, right? His
Your
father's
gut
sort of,
instincts, bro. It's like gut instincts.
yeah.
His dad was trying to teach him about your gut instincts. It's something very hard to go with. Like, people follow their mind, people follow their heart, people follow their gut. Like, if your gut feels funny and you're losing and it's not working, not that type of gut, but like, just guts. Like, just in some moments, you know what you're gonna do. You know how to control a situation. You know what you want your outcome to be, and I think that's what his father was trying to channel to him. That like, look, man, I can't help you all the time, but feel it. And when you learn something so much like martial arts, any type of technique or talent or something, you'll master it and you'll find your ways of dealing with it. And I think again, another powerful story, that father-son relationship, but uh the individual. The individual doesn't have to come from a violent background. He's not a samurai. He's not violent, but not like, a disciplined background. Like you
Mm.
had the samurais, you had the Vikings. The Vikings were all about war and battling and conquering and revenge and all the rest of it. Where the samurai were quite peaceful, but very deadly, silent but deadly. Yeah, and then you've got the loudmouth, gut following soldier who is actually not a talented killer. He was actually more in trouble than he was trying to escape. You know what I mean? Uh, Interesting, really good. Like another
Mm.
part of it that I really enjoyed as well is that you can have the brute force, you can have the smart, and then you can have the clumsy all working together. It's like the Three
Well,
Stooges.
yeah, definitely. But also highlighting the adaptability of the predators who
Yes.
are constantly learning and discovering different battle styles that they have to fight against. Because it's a challenge to them.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
this
exactly.
person, these Vikings
Exactly.
fight with a shield and all this sort of stuff. That's a challenge. I need to go learn and understand that. The samurai, they fight with a sword. They fight with this sort of martial arts and fighting technique. Need to learn that. Going to go challenge it. Now, first time we've seen, I believe it's the first time we've seen an air battle. You know what I mean, with the predators, and it's like
Yes, bro.
again,
That's the
there's so,
yes.
yeah, so much different ways of battling. I won't be surprised if we see a naval one in the future. You know what I mean? Because the predators are all about that, right? They're all about conquering again, like the greatest warriors. Now, if the greatest warrior is the best in a plane, then I need to learn to understand that. And I think that's like showing us like this is what the predators are about, man. They're constantly evolving because they're trying to learn different styles, and I'm pretty sure they feed back that data. Hey, listen, they got these kind of planes. We need to go in and see how we deal with this shit, right? And learn about it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And I think that's
Mm.
just an absolute again, as well as the three different stories tell us about these humans, and the predators were just there to hunt them. It was also telling us telling us as the audience, like, yeah, this is the predators. This is what the predators do. They're
Mm.
strategizing. They're learning. They've adapted to different fighting abilities. They send someone to go fight the greatest warrior in their fighting style, and they're gonna probably forward that information back to us for us to learn, because to be the greatest
Yeah.
warriors on in the universe or whatever. It's
In the universe, yeah.
absolutely fantastic, bro. I mean, like if they were good guys, like I keep saying that they would be super Saiyan, they'll be Saiyans. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But they're
Exactly.
they're not really the good guys in that sort of sense. But that was another great sort of different battle scene we seen with predators, man, just in the sky and how they use their ships and whatnot. And he didn't really have guns, really. He was using that grappling hook type thing.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
maybe in
yeah,
the future
exactly.
it would
They're
adapt
still
the
kind of like primitive, right? With
primitive. Yeah,
technology.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
These primitive
Which is
tools.
awesome. But then, like all three led up because I honestly I was watching it thinking, okay, it's just three short stories and that'll be it, or a few short stories, that'll be it. I didn't realize actually that it all leads to them being together and battling, what playing their games, basically the Predators games, which
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah, yeah.
killer of
Interesting,
killers, and
right?
whoever wins, you have to fight me, which was this wicked hench Predator man, which was crazy. But I think it brought back the humanity and the in my opinion, what it brought back was the as a humanity, we should stick together, right? We are
Yes.
three warriors from three different eras, and we're put in a position where we need to kill each other. And it was like our humanity should bring us together. We're humans. Let's stick together. Let's fight together to beat the common enemy, which is the predator. Right now, the Viking lady was a bit hesitant, but I think her way of life was, I'm a die and go to Valhalla. I need to get vengeance. You know what I mean, for my son, all that sort of stuff. It was about that, right? But with the humanity of from the samurai and the bullet guy, they were able to stick together, and she ended up sacrificing her life for them,
Yeah.
which was awesome. But I think it just brought that back down to the basics of we should stick together when we have a common enemy. But that battle scene between them was just awesome, and then
100%.
saw that hench predator monster thing, which was crazy, man. Just taking things to the next level with the Predator universe.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I think it's a great way of introducing the Predator world in a way we've never seen it before as well, bro. It really intrigued me on how well they did that. Like how well they really put that together. Because I felt like, you know what? This is absolutely awesome. Like that's me all day. I'm happy. I watch that all day long. I love the way they represented that, and I just feel like characters, the way they were represented as well, was really good as well. So it's like, come on, man, I want more Predator stuff, bro. Give me
Man,
more Predator stuff.
if it's like that, I would take it any day, honestly. Even if they done,
Yeah.
do you know what? If even if they turned this movie into like a 6 episode show, which was like each episode was each story, and then they built
Mm.
up to a big 6 episode, like it would have that would have worked as well. But this movie worked great. I mean, with the time they gave us, like an hour and a half or whatever it was, they done it so well, man. I mean, it's really hard these days to like I say, I think because it's animation, I honestly do. I think when there's humans in there, there's a natural thing where you're like, we need more character building because it's a human being and we need to connect more. But with animation, I don't feel like you need to emphasize too much time on character building. It's more like, let's go, let's just get straight into it. And I think this done that really well. And I think, I don't know, again, this is my opinion. I don't know. I'm no expert, but I think that's what I'm feeling now. I'm like, that's why these animations sometimes work so well. Like even the Transformers 1, whatever animation that came out, I was like, damn, man, like this is so much better than the movies in regards to the storytelling and the way the jokes are and all this sort of stuff. Like again, when there's animation, it could just change the whole dynamics of the characters and the relationship that the audience has with the characters compared to a live action where I feel like there's a human element, there's a feeling element towards it, which is different. So this was just done absolutely perfectly, man. And that last fight was amazing. It seems like it's going to lead on to more, which I hope they give us because you know, if it's in this style, I hope they give us. I mean, one of my things I said on the podcast, and we'll get into Easter eggs and references and stuff like that in a bit. But that end scene I thought was awesome. Like it was such a hype to the whole Predator universe and how this has become an actual universe. I mean, this again, I think this is the first one that's actually indicated to us as the viewers and as Predator content consumers that hey, this whole Predator series from the one with Arnie back in the 80s to now, this is a whole universe, right? And
Mm.
I think that's why that whole time, you know, they were able to freeze the bodies and all that sort of stuff to kind of show us. Um, and the end scene where you see the lady from Prey, I thought was just a clarification of that, but was awesome. But I still think that it should have been Arnie because I think that would have been a bigger and more hyper sort of you know
That
scene
would have
if it
been.
was
That
just
would have
Arnie.
been.
That would
That
have
would
been
have been.
better, I think.
Definitely
Um,
would have been better, bro.
yeah, let's move on to cinematic style, visuals, and direction, man. Why don't when you give me your thoughts, give us your thoughts on what you thought about all of that sort of stuff, especially being an artist yourself, just the three different stories, the three different dynamics and animation behind it. What was your thoughts around all of that?
I think Disney are learning after Marvel What If and the animation style. As you can see, they take similarities from that as well. Uh, but I love animation format, bro. You could be so much more expressive. I mean, the bleed, the blood, the violence is a whole total look to it, right? Uh, bro, the backgrounds, the set pieces, what they did for the Viking era, what they did for uh World War II, what they did, the settings was on it. The samurai, Japan, you there's a subtle simpleness to animation that you don't have to put so much detail in it. Like when you watch a movie now, you're like, there's so much going on. There's too much information to relay back to your brain, to your nervous system to understand what the hell did you just watch. To having something really simple and animation gives you this cool, calm feeling. I've always seen it as therapy, even when I'm drawing, or when I see the kids drawing, or when I watch a cartoon. You can see the simplicity it gives to you, and that's why it's an easy watch, bro. It's because it's simply done. It's not so over the top, detailed. Like some animations is great. Akira, Fist of the North Star, the detailing is amazing, but you have to know what it's for. But for this, it's like it's got this calm demeanor, but yet action packed, bloody, full like upfront. Amazing, bro. Technicality on it, no flaws, bro. Like I loved the way it looked. I loved how the predators were designed. I loved how the characters were designed. I loved all the backgrounds that were designed. Even the soundtrack, bro. No, very good, very good. So no, really good from my point of view, man. Like it made me feel like Alara could draw a predator now because of the simplicity of it. I will draw. I like drawing a predator, but now you've given me this simplicity to it because the one that I usually draw is the one from, you know, Dutch's version of the predator. You ugly motherfucker.
Yeah, but that's the one we grew up with. I mean, that's why. But I think now they're showing us there's a whole different race, guys, and it's not
Yeah,
just
yeah,
one.
yeah.
But I think you're right. I mean, especially something with the Predator or animation, you have to find you first of all, you have such a what you call it, a wide range of tones and colors that you can use, but you have to find the right one that suits this content, the predator,
Mm.
stories you're telling, the amount of violence you want to put in it, everything, right? You know what I mean? Because it's going to be a complete different animation style and tone compared to a Disney cartoon or something like that, right?
100%.
It
100%.
has to be done right, and it doesn't have to be too dark. It shouldn't be too dark. It shouldn't be too bright. I mean, look, again, animators, directors, when it's all put together, I'm pretty sure they sit there, they watch it, they listen to the story, they look at the story, and they get like, just doesn't sit. You know, the story, what we're trying to put together just doesn't sit with the tone. Let's darken it up. Let's lighten it up. On you know what I mean, all that sort of stuff. So I'm
Mm.
pretty like sure there's like, and again, I don't know the background or the ins and outs of production and everything, but that there must be so many sittings like where you're just looking at it and you're really trying to like look at the tones and the colors detail by detail to be like, this hits or this doesn't hit. And there must be so many changes and stuff. But I thought this one, yeah, it just hit so well. It just done so well, that this and the animation sort of style with this. So yeah, I agree. It was visually done beautifully. Let's move into Easter eggs and references. Because now I think this is confirmed, guys. This is a Predator universe we're in now, right?
Hmm.
Finally, feel like it's one of the first ones. It's been confirmed that we're in a Predator universe now. So there's a couple of Easter eggs that reference back to the few Predators, and shout outs to the direct.com. This is what I'm getting from. The internet always does the hard work, so thank you, because there's no way I could put that all together. All right, let's go through them. So bear with me as I go through these. Right. So here's a few Easter eggs and from Predator Killer of Killers connected to the Predator universe. So number 7, there's 7 of them from this site. There's a possible familiar connection between one of the old Predators where they had the samurai Japanese dude. I think it was the one with they were on the Predator Island world compared to and that one's comparing it to the samurai story of Sword. So Predator Killer of Killers does a fantastic job of including overt references to the Predator franchise. However, it's also a couple of Easter eggs. Let me get to the Easter eggs, man. So the Japanese actor Louise Oz Ozawa voiced pair of warriors freed in Japan stepbrothers, who also appeared as the former Yakuza member Henzo Kawazami in the 2010 Predator. Okay, bro, it was that dude. So the guy who was in the Predator 2010 one, Predators, he voiced the actors of the Japanese
Oh, wow.
samurais.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool. All right.
okay. So that's
Okay,
cool.
nice.
So it's unclear, this saying it's unclear if Killer brothers are related to Hanzo. However, Kenji does escape the Predator battle planet at the end of the movie, meaning that there is a potential that he had an hair. This could lead to the Predator's character being more born, especially considering that they are brought up to life by the same actors. So that's pretty cool. That's the same voice. The Predator Samurai Sword. So the Predator's connections do not stop with Kenji and Kayoshi's voice actor. Killer of Killers referenced the 2010 Adrian Brody, that's the one, led
Mm.
film with the inclusion of the Katana versus the Yautja fight. In 2025 animation, Kenji uses the Katana to slay the Predator who stalked him in ancient Japan. He then wields it later in the film during the epic battle to the death on Yautja Prime. In Predators, Luis Owaza's Henzo used the same weapon to take on the Predator on the alien planet, finding it strewn about some wreckage while some basic words here, man. Trace playing through it's this I can't even read now. It's this distant jungle. There is even a chance that it could be the same katana of Killers, proof that the weapon has been on the planet one point or another. Okay, cool. Bro, basically what they're saying is there could be a link between the katana sword that was used in Killer of Killers that was linked to that
Oh, right.
2010 one, because he
Okay.
found the katana sword on the Predator's world when he was on there in the 2010 movie. So there could be a possible link between
Okay.
that. But there's definitely a link between the samurai and that, and it could be this Killer of Killers basically, where the Predators have acknowledged this is a superior weapon or a great weapon to use. So there's a link there. All right. a wink to the franchise's first villains. You spoke about the first Predator that we ever was engaged with, which is the Arnie one, you ugly motherfucker. So there is a
Mm.
link to that one. So the Predator that was, the Predator that they used as sacrifice, put the finger across his neck, and they blew him up? That
Yeah.
apparently is the same Predator or the same look as the original Predator that we knew, that was in the Arnie
Oh,
one. So I guess they
okay.
sacrificed him. Maybe, I don't know. He died anyway, blew himself up, but they looked like there was the same design. So.
All right,
Uh,
cool.
yeah, so I don't need to kind of talk through that one, read that one. The next one was bringing back the 1715 flintlock pistol. So there
Yes.
was, yeah, fans may be
Why?
surprised by just how important the Raphael Adolina 1750 flintlock pistol has become to the Predator universe after it popped up again in Predator Killer of Killers. The antique pistol first appeared in Predator 2, being gifted to Danny
To
Glover's,
Danny Glover. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, having it by several Yautja, I don't know how to pronounce this, man. Yautja, after he proved himself in battle and slayed the city hunter predator at the center of the film. It appeared again in the 2022's Prey as
Mm-hmm.
Amber Midthunder's
Mid Thunder.
indigenous,
Yeah.
yeah, hero Nuru used the Spanish-made weapon to kill the feral predator in that movie. So connection with that gun, man, that's pretty damn awesome.
Yeah.
Again, it plays a part in the Unfold Predator canon. It is offered to the Rick. It's offered to Rick Golandas Torres in the movie cinematic fight, seemingly having come along the narrow path after she was abducted by the Yautja after the events of Prey. More on that. Okay, cool. They're calling the Predators Yautja. Yautja. I didn't know that was their names.
They
Anyway,
call it that. That's
that's
from.
what that's what this website's referring them to. Anyway, like the aliens, you call them xenomorphs. Apparently they
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
refer them
yeah.
to the predators as that. But I don't know, maybe it's a race site.
Okay.
Let's move on. So there's that connection with the gun. Some familiar alien trophies, man. So talking about xenomorphs, it's
They
not
came
just
up.
Predator Easter eggs that fans have to be out on the lookout of Killer of Killer. During the movie's final Colosseum, fans seem to think that they have found a connection to another titan of sci-fi aliens, which is the alien, the xenomorphs. The Yautja war chief, who is overseeing the movie's planned gladiator fight battle between Yusra, Kenji, and Torres, is wearing a cape that looks to be made of the strung together xenomorph tails, which was like his long cape. That looked pretty freaking
Okay. Yeah,
awesome,
yeah, 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 yeah.
aka scorpion like sort of tails that the aliens had. So that was pretty cool. The specific Easter egg has not been confirmed, with Killer of Killers co-director Joshua Wusang cryptically teasing to the detail, we designed that character to be as regal as possible. Seeing as there was more seemingly a reference to the xenomorphs in the trailer of the forthcoming Predator Badlands, it would not be a surprise if these two franchises were lining up to cross over. I mean, I think it's confirmed that this is a universe and they're all a
Yeah,
part of it
100%.
anyway.
100%. 100%.
All right, and then all right, talking about Arnie being that last face in the cryo chamber, whatever you call it. So a man in the tank. So they did pass by a man in the tank, bro, and fans are saying, "Is that Arnie?" I don't know, man, because I think animation wise, you could have really made Arnie's face because the girl from Prey, you can blatantly tell that's her just by the look
Yeah, yeah,
of
yeah.
and structure. But this man in the crime chamber doesn't have that jaw and features of Arnie. But fans are saying that there's a possibility that it could be Arnie, which I think
You
is a
think it's
cooler
Dutch, yeah?
thing. I think so. I think that's what they're saying, right? But I think that they should have ended with Dutch's face and really make it look like the Predator. Sorry, really make it look like Arnie's face so everyone knows that it's him. Because I thought that would have been pretty awesome. And then the last Easter egg is, as we just spoke about, Nuru in the cryo sleep, which is the girl from Prey.
Mm.
She blatantly, you can just tell that was her, which is pretty
Yeah, yeah,
awesome. But
that's
I,
right.
I think all these Easter eggs and all this sort of stuff and that whole cryo chamber thing has just opened up a whole universe of the Predator source references and stuff.
Exactly, definitely.
All right, so that was all the Easter eggs and everything that I got from that website. Again, shout outs to direct.com and shout outs to the internet for doing that. Just wanted to give I guess, a quick shout out to the cast because they deserve it before we kind of give our final thoughts. So the director was Dan Trachtenberg, who was involved in Prey, right? Was he involved in Prey? Yeah, involved in Prey. The Boys. He's been like director of some of the Boys. Cloverfield Lane. Man, he's done some good stuff out there. There was another director, Joshua Wusong, who was involved in, let's see what Joshua was involved in. Again, he was involved in Warhorse, Ready Player One. He was a visual effects. He's more of a visual effects dude, right? Visual effects on Prey.
Correct.
Avatar: The Last Airbender, creative supervisor, Madam Web, visual supervisor, I guess. The Mortal Kombat video game, visual creative supervisor. So this guy's more of a multiverse of Doctor Strange, multiverse of madness, creative visualization. This guy's been involved in so much visual stuff. So perfect to have him on board with this. And obviously the visuals for this was absolutely amazing. The writers was Machio Robert Wutao, who's done like Z Nation and Sharknado and some stuff like that. I guess this
Sharknado,
is.
you know.
I know I've all the ones to give him a shout out for, but he was involved in this. This will be his new shout out. Dan was also involved in the writing as well, and then you got Jim Thomas, who was another one of the writers, who was one of the writers for the original Predator
Wow.
1987, sorry, which is awesome.
Okay.
He was involved in stuff like Wild Wild West, Executive Decision.
Wild Wild West, yeah.
I know. Predator, Warrior Predators, Predator. So a lot more than Predators. Predator versus Alien. So well involved in the Predators sort of things. But the original Predator is awesome. So he was involved in that. And then some of the cast, you had Michael Bain as Vandy's voice. I don't know who, can't remember who Vandy was. Doug, I'm trying to think of somebody name. You had Rick Golanzas as Torres. So he's a bit more familiar. Um, yeah, anyway, no need to go through everyone else to the cast. But anyway, just wanted to give a little shout out because you know what? There's so many cast members and everything. The Ostra, who was a Viking lady, was Lindsay Lavanchi.
Hmm.
What's she been in, man? She was in Scream, the TV show.
Okay.
She's been in some other sort of stuff. Labyrinth. Oh, no, that's 2027, 17. Sorry. Anyway, cool. All right. Well, look. Let's finish off with our thoughts, man. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to the cast and the directors and whatnot, as much as I could. But let's finish off with final thoughts, man. Like, where do you think this ranks in the Predator universe? Who you want? Would you want a sequel or series of this? And like your final ratings and thoughts around this.
So, listen, for me, this is gonna be like number three in the Predator universe. You know, you've got Dutch's Predator, you got Amber Midthunder's Predators coming second. This is gonna be my third. I think it's really good, man. They've expanded on these Predators a lot more. We understand a bit more. I still kind of like the mystery, but it seems like we're gonna get an origin story, you know, and so it'd be interesting to see, you know, more about the Predators. So, great watch. If you haven't seen it, definitely watch it. If you've watched this whole review, then we've spoiled loads for you. But again, go in there with a fresh mind. I think what I did was not watch no trailers. I saw some of the artwork and I shared some of the things, but I never really like looked at the detailing of it and thoroughly enjoyed it. And I've been doing that recently a lot more with the movies that we've been seeing in cinema recently. Thunderbolts, didn't watch. I watched the first trailer, enjoyed the movie. Same thing with, you know, Superman. Watch the first two trailers. I'm not watching no more. No, not even watching promos. Everybody's been trying to say, "Gibbs, have you seen it?" I was like, "No, I haven't. I'm gonna go enjoy this in the cinema." Same thing. There's a couple of things that have come out recently that I've just enjoyed
Fantastic
so much
Four.
more.
It's another
Yeah,
one that
Fantastic
I'm
Four.
not
One
watching no
trailer,
more
that's it.
trailers.
Yeah, done. So like getting to enjoy things a lot more. So I feel like, and that's how I enjoyed this so much. It was so good, bro. I absolutely, really, really enjoyed how good this was. I've seen it twice already because that's how good it was.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I haven't watched most of the trailers either, but the trailers from what I did see or some sort of clips or what I didn't, I mean, again, and this is because I didn't pay attention to the trailers, it just didn't feel like there would be a whole story. I thought it was just gonna be I thought it was just gonna be mini stories, and I was like,
Mm,
that's all that Predator is really, just him, hunting people and whatnot. So I just thought three mini
exactly.
stories would be perfect, but the fact that it all links up, it opened up this whole Predator universe. I actually thought it was brilliant. Listen, man, in my top three as well. I kind of want to say number two. Like honestly, for me, I mean, look, the original is always the original, and that original, it's just classic. It's just classic. And it's not just the Predator movie itself. It's just like, Dylan, you son of a bitch. Like there's some classic things from that movie that will make that movie always the best. The chain gun scene and
Exactly.
when everyone's just shooting at the forest, it's just such a
Yeah, 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 yeah.
80s action. That's what makes that movie the best, right? But with Amber's version, Prey, and is it Amber? It's Amber, right? And this, I have to put this one ahead. I mean, Prey is definitely rewatchable, but I could rewatch this one now and just really enjoy it. I just think that it just opened up so much in the Predator universe, and I don't think they could have opened it up more or better than an animation. So I think this was perfectly done. But Prey's still up
Okay.
there, still one of the best without a doubt. I definitely would love to see more. I think they've opened it up for more, and I would love to see more. Keep it to animation. I think you can make those movies. You know, what would be pretty cool. You can make all the movies that you do. Don't connect it to the animation, but let the animation connect to those. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Like you can let the animation connect to the movies and create the universe within the animation. And those movies will be individual battles and whatever, I think. That's just my opinion. But, solid score for this one. I'm not going to give it a score, but solid. I don't think like I ever thought that I would. I mean, sorry, Prey was really good, but they've really stepped up on their Predator content. I have to see so much has
Hmm.
come out over the years. Predator versus Aliens, this and that. I mean, to just slow down and just kind of say, all right, let's focus on this content. I just think it makes such a difference. I mean, you don't rush it and just throw shit out there, and you really think about
Exactly.
how you're trying to take this universe or what you're trying to put out there, and just going back to the basics sometimes just works, which is just Predator. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So I thought that was awesome. I thought that was the top quality show, man. So if you guys haven't seen it, check out Predator: Killer of Killers. It's streaming now on Disney Plus. Um, Definitely check it out, man. Disney as
There you
well. I
go.
can't
Check it
believe
out,
it,
guys.
isn't it?
Absolutely awesome, bro. I really enjoyed it, man. Favorite things. I said top five things that I've seen this year, man. You know what? That's going under Sinners, bro. That's number two.
Smashed it. Smashed it.
Mm.
Well, guys, I think that's our review. I think let's leave it there, man, because I think we could talk about it. We could go more into it or talk about it all day and whatnot, man. But I think let's leave it there, guys. Check the channel because there's going to be more reviews coming out for Sinners. We've got the podcast and our thoughts on other movies like Karate Kid Legends and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, keep an eye on the channel, man. All breaking news and all that sort of stuff is on there as well. Gibbs, man, why don't you take us out?
Awesome, guys. Listen, massive thank you for the recent up on the subscribers. Welcome new subscribers to the channel. Massive, massive thank you. There's still about 70% of you that do not subscribe. You guys watched it. You guys probably dislike and like. And come on, drop some love on the channel. It all only helps us grow and it only helps us reach out to more people. Massive thank you, though, for everybody who has subscribed. But engage with us. We want to engage with you. I want to do more giveaways on here. Like we did try it at the beginning, it didn't work. In between kind of work, but we found like X is our place to do giveaways. So make sure you're following us on all other social platforms, guys. X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. It's so hard to keep up. Or the community page. We post stuff on the community page here. So if you don't follow those pages, follow us on the community page. But yeah, massive, massive thank you. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, dislike, comment, and we'll catch you guys up on the next review.
We're out. Peace.
Peace.